I'm Lolly Mason. I lead strategic accounts at Star, working with our agency and media partners. AI is touching pretty much every point within media workflows, whether it be RFP tools, supporting the pitch process with automated project management tools, getting people through from the sort of ideation phase through to prototyping, etc. Research, audience matching, right the way through to sort of delivery, reconciliation, etc. So it's now a fundamental part of agency organisations, to the point where even agents have become agentified with agent builders in-house at some of our clients in order to use agents to create new agents. The strategic talent just need to get very familiar with AI and used to working with it. It becomes more of an assistant in putting your strategy together, and it makes life easier in terms of working out what your audience is interested in, what might resonate with them. You can run creative ideas past a sort of virtual panel of people that you're trying to target. So it's overwhelmingly helpful really on the strategic side. In terms of those that are more on the production side, building the creative, etc., that's where the change becomes a little bit more nuanced. Some people are nervous about job losses, etc., or around erosion of creativity with greater automation. The ideal usage of AI, of course, is that you maintain the strong sort of creative input, but you can start to automate the sort of dull tasks. So things like where you're having to create large number of creative variants, for instance, particularly for things like where dynamic optimization is used and you've got sort of slightly different elements that you're optimizing towards within the creative, or where you've got personalized creative and massive different variants for, say, different locations, different times of day, different audience groups, etc. So there where you've got just sort of minor alterations within a creative, but you need a massive variance. There are two key ways that agencies can adapt to better support CMOs as they start to have a far greater focus on looking at campaign ROI and tech ROI. So on the one hand, I think industry fragmentation can prevent true measurement of ROI when it comes to looking at campaigns. And so better connectivity across the ecosystem as a whole, better interoperability between different platforms across the ecosystem, better collaboration as well, rather than just tech interoperability, would certainly benefit from that side of things, in order to be able to sort of pull all the data together and bring that back in a nice, neat way for the CMO and their teams. In terms of tech ROI, that hasn't been built in on the whole at the sort of forefront of the way agencies have been working. So I think if they start to build that into their tools, so where they perhaps focus more on either creating a tool that is client-facing specifically, or tools that help them to become more efficient, they need to perhaps start developing tools to measure the efficiency savings and also the financial value of the new sort of campaign-focused tools that they're putting forward as well. But so that's an area that needs focus now, and I think we've not yet seen enough of it. But I'm sure that's a direction that media partners are going to be focused on over 26, 27. There's a big buzz in the industry at the moment around agentic media buying and selling. With the sort of announcement and launch of ADCP in October, there's a huge focus on this at the moment and how it might start to transform the industry. In an ideal world, and this should certainly be the end point, it should enable us to get back to a point where there used to be a great deal of creativity in media buying and selling, and also a lot of creative options, whether that be when you're buying for online or TV as well. Over time, with the arrival of programmatic advertising, we had to get a little bit less creative in order to build scale. So that meant, for the sake of interoperability, you started to have a sort of pretty standard set of ad units and more limits on the way different companies could work together. Over time with agents, you can perhaps get to the point of having the scalability of programmatic, but bringing back the creativity of an individual media buy. So the ability to, say, buy sponsorships, to go a little bit crazy and buy sort of off-standard creatives and have sort of niche requirements within your request as well. So I think that's where we'll get to, but obviously that'll take a little bit of time first. One thing to watch out for is that, so there's ADCP, which is a fantastic collaboration launched with 20 different companies, which is an excellent example of cross-industry collaboration, working together to build better interoperability. But there are also other agentic buying selling protocols as well. So the worst case scenario would be that we end up with more fragmentation rather than less. But I think the industry will end up sort of coalescing around one set of protocols. We just have to see which ones win. A truly integrated ecosystem would enable all elements of media buying, selling and creativity to connect together in seamless ways with interoperability, integrations where needed, or kind of agentic movement of data and support for workflows. What's blocking that at the moment is there's a lack of interoperability between platforms. There's also a little bit of protectiveness as well from certain companies. So, for example, there are various demand-side platforms in use at the moment that have intentionally not got easy ways to integrate to them. They're going to necessarily have to change as agentic media buying starts to become popular. But I think the main thing really is a mix of, I guess it's a combination of time and industry collaboration. And once we get there, we'll get the interoperability we need to help genuinely join the dots across the ecosystem. And then the tech will follow suit. But technically, it's not actually that difficult. It's just retrofitting all of the companies together in a way that's reasonably seamless and makes sense. Over time, as you get better connectivity, reduce fragmentation, I think it will become easier to bring transparency and higher quality data to the CMO.